American. These later pieces cast an interesting light on Bowles's fascination for dramatic and bizarre misfortune. Tangier in the 60s was a dangerous place for the remittance ladies and gentlemen who vainly hoped to retain a privileged Puka Sahib status. The nominally socialized Islamic monarchy had no inclination to extend them one. Bowles was a contradictory and eccentric figure, possessed nonetheless of an old-fashioned reticence and discretion. His autobiography is a fine chronicle of the post-war musical and literary world. In it, and other autobiographical writings, he includes characters ranging from his good friend Gertrude Stein to Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones, utterly unheard of by him, he tells us on introduction. But although he is quite commonly associated with a gay milieu, and although many of his stories present an intense and undeniable sexual charge, he never chose to publicly review his love life or encourage speculation about it. He did once ask an editor, appearing genuinely puzzled, why so many people seemed to assume he was gay. In addressing the stories in this collection, it seems appropriate simply to follow Paul Bowles's preferences and consider his fiction as he himself presented it. The Delicate Prey, his great Moroccan story of the 1940s, is included here and represents all the elements upon which Bowles's reputation rests. It is also one of the most traditionally structured of his short prose works. Perfect in sound and detail, The Delicate Prey seems to gather itself out of dark magic, half-recognized music echoing over the reaches of a space both fearful and lyrical. Its lovely, sinister light winks from a quarter where no light belongs. Only when the story is well underway does the reader recognize the melody or identify the light. Like the terrifying magician in Eliot's The Wasteland, Bowles's narrative is about to show us fear in a handful of dust. Fear is the glimmering quality we have been glimpsing from the start. The light marks the edge of reasonable expectation, the borders of dread. They have been there, at hand, all along, and they have been much closer than we had allowed ourselves to suspect. 3 Falali merchants, trading in the Sahara, determine that the time has come for their setting out across dangerous territory frequented by bandits. 2 of the merchants are brothers with a taste for religious speculation. They pass their free time at the market discussing the surah and the compass of the law. The youngest merchant is their nephew. His speculative interest follows his romantic chances with the dark-skinned girls of the quartier. He's a handsome youth and popular there. Hence he's not pleased to hear he'll be exchanging the carpeted tents of the women for weeks of desert encampments. Setting out across the desert, the 3 are accosted by a man of the Munguri tribe. The Munguri asks to travel in their company. The Falali merchants agree. By a ruse, the Munguri lures the brothers to their death in an ambush. Their nephew becomes his prisoner. At just this point in the story, the margins of safety, reason, and reasonableness are passed. The unfortunate prisoner knows to expect anything under the terrible sky of this wilderness to which he has been carried by treachery. Bowles's reader comes to the same realization and, in so far as such a thing is possible, shares the character's fate. To thrust the fortunes of a fictive creation upon the reader in the most intense manner possible is, of course, the fundamental goal of fiction. In this matchless classic story, with its lovely structure and delectable sound, Bowles does it as well as it has ever been done. Similarly, in the story A Distant Episode, the reader is compelled to share both the foolishness and insight of the singularly luckless European professor. Whatever part Paul Bowles may have given away to the competition, it was not psychological acuity. And perhaps because of his sure head for interior conditions, no other writer I can think of writes so well about the effects of narcosis. In no other's work may we experience so acutely the burrowing of paranoia's worm. The comic